In today's economic storm, people's retirement accounts are being devastated. Consumers are searching for a safe place to put their money. Are you feeling the same? If you are, please get ready to listen and learn about a new concept that will give you financial security and peace of mind. Now, here is the host of Become the Banker, certified financial planner and award-winning author, Joseph Quijano.
Well, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. This is Joseph Quijano, and I'm here with my son, Jordan. And we are really excited to welcome you. And I want to thank you for listening to our podcasts. I mean, I really want to thank you. And today's topic is a kind of a continuation of last week's. We're talking about making 2021 a phenomenal financial year. I know that we all suffered in 2020, not only being locked down because of the pandemic, but actually the economy actually faltered, not only in one place, but I'm talking about globally. I mean, so what I'm trying to say to you is that I know that 2021 is going to be a better year. And I want to share with you very timely topics. You know, we began to talk last week about actually planning ahead, getting, a certain goal in mind to be better than we were in 2020. And it's really simple. And today's topic, I want to talk to you about a couple of things, okay, which are really dear to my heart. Number one is the way that we think about money. The way that we think about money and the way that we think about achieving total financial freedom. And one of the things I want to share with you right away is that as we kind of listen to this, it's a quote that I actually learned many years ago, and you know what? It resonates with me because it's me, and I want to let you know that ignorance is a bliss. Think about that. Ignorance is a bliss. Bliss. That means that it actually is better not to know things than to actually know things. And let me just give you a couple of examples over here. You know, scientifically, it's been proven that a bumblebee is not able to fly. Can you believe that? A bumblebee is not able to fly scientifically. Why? The body of the bumblebee is too heavy for the small and really thin wings. Think about that. Yet, the bumblebee flies. Why? Because the bumblebee doesn't know any better. The bumblebee doesn't know that it cannot fly, so it flies. So, what I'm trying to say to you is that many times we get caught up and trying to learn everything there is to learn about financial planning, about getting ahead financially. And I'm telling you that there's really nothing wrong with that. But I want you to know that in many cases, not knowing is better than knowing. So you got to be like the bumblebee on a way. There's a lot of things against you and I, but if we actually listen to that, it's really negative and it's not going to really help us get ahead financially. So sometimes we need to basically close our minds, and to me, I'm going to tell you something right now that it really resonated with me because many years ago I had to have eye surgery, and I never let anybody mess with my eyes. Even when I went to the optician, I mean, just a mere fact of me putting a contact lens on and him taking them out, it just created a lot of anxiety. I just don't like people touching my eye, but I needed to have eye surgery. So what I did, I made the biggest mistake of my life. I went online and I began to Google everything there was about that type of surgery. It got me so upset, so confused that I'm going to tell you something right now that I really thought I was going to lose my sight. Yes, I was actually trying to learn everything there was about that surgery, all the side effects, everything. So, anyway, what I did, I researched a doctor over here that works for uh, the University Hospital of Colorado. And he's actually a professor of that surgery. And when I met him, he set my mind at ease. And I was able to go through that eye surgery without any concern, any problems at all. And I thought, at the end of the surgery, I thought, oh my gosh, I worried. I became anxious over nothing. Everything turned out phenomenally well. But you see, it is the same with financial planning. It is the same with accumulating money. I believe that building wealth doesn't need to be complicated. And many times we make it too complicated. We make it too complex. Why? Because we're trying to learn everything, not only the positives, but also the negatives. Don't you agree, Jordan?
Absolutely. And I think you said it perfectly right that, sometimes being untrained to it, or being not having blinders on your eyes because you don't know any better about some areas or some products, it gives you that ability to not be scared of what's going to happen, or the stories that you may have heard, or you start to overthink a lot of times what's the worst possibility, when a lot of times you should be thinking about the best possibility, the positive side. And we've talked about this, numerous times, that what you manifest in your brain is a lot of times what you're going to attract. So this goes right back to what we've said in the past, that you have to be able to sometimes look past the negative, look past all the, I'm not saying go to a Chinese restaurant that has a 1 star review and 500 reviews that say it's bad, and bad food. I'm saying, really you got to look past certain areas that people get scared of, just like the WebMD, the areas that we start to self diagnose our own problems. And not only health wise, but that comes in the financial world as well, that you try to self diagnose what's going on in your world, when better yet, you have to leave it to the professionals. You got to leave it to the person that specializes in that area, just like my father is talking about with that eye doctor. So, absolutely.
Well, you probably understand this as well as I do, Jordan. We get we have clients that come into us, and that when we started, doing financial planning, a lot of people were not really. I mean, this is like many years ago. We're not really, well trained as they are today as a consumer about the different products available. But today, there's so much information, not only on the web but through TV. I mean, I'm talking about commercials from everywhere. Our consumers are being bombarded with a lot of different information. And if you talk to any financial planner, each one of them, each one of us, I should say, we all have a different opinion about a product or a method to achieve financial wellness. And one product that comes to mind right now are annuities. I mean, some people have only heard negative things about annuities. And I'm going to tell you right now that annuities are probably one of the cornerstones of a basic and solid financial plan. And yes, they are good annuities. They are poor annuities, and there really are excellent annuities. And but the consumer doesn't know. So they only hear what other people are saying to them about annuities, and they close their mind. I mean, we get people that come in and say, "Oh, is this an annuity?" And they immediately have a negative perspective of that annuity. But I'm going to tell you right now that once we explain to the client, you know, the excellent annuities that we have for our clients, like the veil goes off their mind and their eyes, and they said, "Oh my gosh, that's a wonderful product." And Jordan, I actually had a client here, over the weekend that actually had that thought about annuities. They didn't like annuities, but
Right.
when we began to actually talk about the benefits of our annuity, like the long-term care benefits, the premium bonus that people will get, all the wonderful things that this annuity can do. The guaranteed pension that they'll get after so many years, and most importantly, the safety that they're not going to lose their money because our annuities are not in the market.
Right.
Once I began to explain that to them, guess what happened? They loved it.
Right.
But
And
you
I think that,
see, yeah, they had a premonition of the wrong, they had a wrong vision
of
of
course,
annuities.
and that's goes back to a lot of times we talk about this in our webinars and our seminars that we hold, that you got to get past the name of the product sometimes and just focus on what it can do for you. A lot of times the name brings that negative connotation with it, and that's where people can get turned off right away, misconceived about it, and they start to look at it and say, "Oh, I know all about this already. I don't want to hear any more about it. I've already heard bad things about it. I've already known all bad things about it." But that's the sad reality, is that there's always going to be bad seeds in the bunch in any area that you look at in life. Whether it's doctors, whether it's, like I said, Chinese restaurants, whether it's anything, there's going to be some bad seeds of the bunch. So don't let the bad seeds really predict what's going to happen to the other product, or really more so, don't let the bad seeds determine your decision already, that there's no good ones out there, because there are plenty of good seeds, there's plenty of good products, whether it's annuities, whether it deals with life insurance, whether it deals with the right financial advisor. This is something that we really try to bring it down to basics when we have our webinars, because just like my father kind of started this out with, that it's sometimes better if you don't know what's out there, or you haven't had that jaded experience, because a lot of those bad seeds or those bad financial advisors, they put you in the wrong product, you lose money, you're in the wrong spot, and you just think negative and down about it. So a lot of people end up never using a financial advisor ever again. I've seen this happen to many of our clients that walk into our doors, is that they've had a bad experience in the past with another financial advisor. They either lost money, or the financial advisor didn't keep up the promises that they wanted. And so they came in with kind of, just like you said, a preconceived notion that I don't need a financial advisor. You prove to us why we need you. And that's what our job is to do, is to help you understand why a financial advisor is so important. And that's what we really love about our job, is because you do need a financial advisor in some areas, just like I need a CPA. I couldn't do my taxes to save all the money that my CPA does. I know some of the basics, but just like TurboTax kind of allows you to do it yourself, it's never going to be as good as an actual trained CPA that's been in the business for over 50 years and it's phenomenal at their business. So financial planning is in the same realm. Look at the ones that have lasted, just like my father has been in the world or the financial arena for over 45, I'm saying closer to 50 years now, and he's been able to help so many families and so many individuals. And this is what are here to help you listeners today.
That is so true, Jordan. And you know what, though, 50 years, I mean, it's pretty close to 50 years. It's not quite 50 years, but I got to tell you, it's very close to 50 years. And I think I have seen it all. I mean, I really believe that I've seen it all. And I think the most important part of our career is to help people break the barriers, mental barriers that they have about achieving their financial dreams. This is the key to making 2021 a great year. So we're just about ready to go on break for the first break. And when we come back, we want to talk to you about how you can break those barriers, mental barriers, and actually put together a wonderful plan for achieving excellent results financially in the year 2021. So stay with us and thank you for listening to us. And I'm Joseph Quijano, and I have my son Jordan Quijano with me, and we're going to be sharing some wonderful knowledge today and in the weeks to come. So we're going to take a little break and we'll come back shortly.
If what you thought to be true about money turned out not to be true, when would you like to know about it? Most of us have been taught wrong about money either by our family or friends. Our school system does not have any curriculum to teach us how money really works and how to make our money grow without risk in any economy. By tuning into Become the Banker radio show with certified financial planner Joseph Quijano, you'll learn the truth about money and strategies to help you grow your money without risk. Are you ready to thrive financially in the economy? Listen for Become the Banker radio show every Monday at 12 p.m. Eastern, 11 a.m. Central, 10 a.m. Mountain, and 9 a.m. Pacific.
Are you a subject matter expert? Are you here to share your expertise with an audience waiting to hear from you in only the way you can deliver? Are you ready to have your voice amplified across the airwaves? Inspired Choices Network has a global radio platform streaming to millions of people across the world. Professionally produced and supported by an accomplished team every step of the way, you can broadcast from anywhere in the world, knowing your voice matters, and we ensure it is delivered with ease and efficiency. Eager to hear your message, the world awaits. Contact us today to become an Inspired Choices Network radio host. Email becomeahost@inspiredchoicesnetwork.com.
This is the Become the Banker Show with certified financial planner Joseph Quijano. To participate in today's show, join our live studio audience in our chat room at inspiredchoicesnetwork.com. You can also ask or comment by email to joseph@becomethebanker.org or text to 303-880-0887.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. I'm Joseph Quijano with Become the Banker, and also my son Jordan Quijano is with us as well. And we're talking about really making 2021 a phenomenal financial year. And we're talking about the basics over here. We're talking about creating a plan, but the plan begins with your mind. The plan begins with the way that you think and really breaking the limits that you're putting on yourselves about achieving financial freedom. So let me ask you this. Now, we talked about a bumblebee, and I want you to really understand it, okay? Please understand it. If you Google it, you will see that scientifically, a bumblebee shouldn't be able to fly. I mean, the body weight is heavier than the little wings and the thin wings can actually maintain. Yet, the bumblebee flies because it doesn't know any better. And they fly. So are you like a bumblebee financially? Or are you like another species that actually a human being that doesn't actually, that gets so caught up on Googling everything and getting the maybe half truths into something that it gets bogged down and you cannot fly to achieve greatness. I think this is a basic point, but it's actually, a very valid point. Now, if you don't believe that, I'm going to tell you something else here, okay? And I've done some research on this before the show, and I've done it many years ago as well. But if you look at our mind gets conditioned, okay? Totally conditioned. I truly believe that. It gets conditioned by not only commercials on TV, but the people that we hang around with, the financial planners that we hire, the insurance people that we deal with. I'm talking about our friends, our family. Everybody is conditioning our minds, okay? So if you let those thoughts that they're telling you, those ideas, those conditioning messages, maybe those conditioning messages are not really meant to actually help you achieve financial freedom. So, let me ask you this. I mean, if we don't have circuses anymore here in the United States. because of the, they protect the animals now, which is great, by the way. But when I was a little boy, I used to go to the circus all the time, and I used to see those huge elephants tied to a little skinny post. Now think about that. I mean, this is an animal that weighs tons, has strength like you cannot believe, tied to a skinny post. I often wonder, why doesn't the elephant just break away? I mean, the elephants have the strength to pull trees out of the earth, to take a car and demolish the car. Yet, these elephants in the circus, for example, they're tied to a skinny little post. I often wonder why. Why is it that they don't just all of a sudden pull it and break away? I mean, I really thought about this when I was going to the circus with my mom and dad. And then I began to do some research. And I found that an elephant that works in the circus has been conditioned since the elephant was a baby. They tied that baby to a huge, I'm talking about a huge pole or a tree that he couldn't actually break away from. And this went on for months and years and years. And finally, when the elephant reached full maturity, they tied him to a little skinny post. And you know what? He was conditioned that he couldn't, that he couldn't, that he couldn't break away. Now think about that. It is sad, but I want to make that analogy because that's exactly what's happening to people that we meet on a daily basis. They have been conditioned for years about products, about strategies that may not be working today. So I feel that my son and I, being financial planners, we have a moral obligation to help our clients, consumers from all over the world, break away, get those beliefs, and actually deplete them, diminish them, because otherwise you're not going to be able to achieve total financial freedom. Don't you agree, Jordan?
Yeah, and I think it's breaking that conditioned of thoughts, just like you said. I mean, for a lot of people, they are conditioned to think that the stock market's the only way to build your money, that you can only build it with 401ks in the stock market. That's the only way to build your retirement and be successful. And this is that analogy that we're trying to make to the elephant, that if that is all you're trained to think and that's all that you know, unfortunately, you're going to be with the stock market whether it's up or when the stock market's down because that's what you believe in. I mean, if that's all you know, that's what you believe in, you're going to ride that stock market down and you're going to ride it up, and then you're going to ride it back down, and it's going to be one of those roller coaster effects that at the end wasn't really worth it to take those down years, those losses, all the time that it took to recover just to get back to even. I mean, that's the mold that we're trying to break with our financial planning. We're trying to share with you that there are strategies, there are beautiful products out there that allow you to still get the beautiful gains of what the market can give you, but better yet, you don't have to write it back down. You don't have to be like everybody else that's stuck in the conventional wisdom of thinking that that's the case, or if that's what they've been taught, that's all they know. That's why when we hold our webinars, we love going on TV, we love going on podcasts like this, we love opening up the airways because it's our way to help break that mold, help you guys, help you listeners and viewers and everybody out there understand there's other ways. There's sometimes better products and easier ways to build money and to not go always with conventional wisdom or what you think is right, because just like my father mentioned, that might have worked in the economy of your parents or your grandparents, but in today's economy, we're in uncharted territory. Nobody knows really what can happen with the stock market at any given moment. So this is a great area that people need to have more protection in place. They need to have more security so that when they do get to those years of retirement, and not only that, but graduate to the next world, that they can enjoy their life comfortably and that they can pass on that torch to the next generation so that they're not making the same mistake as well.
Absolutely. And I think it all begins with the way we think. Don't you agree, Jordan? I mean, it all begins with the way
Yes.
that we think and understanding that we have limitations. I mean, I'm going to tell you a story here. I mean, Jordan and I have a client that has been with us for many, many, many years. And we have done really well for them successfully with our products that we have placed in their life. And they have actually achieved excellent financial clarity. However, though, they came to see me about 2 weeks ago and they started a new company, and that company is doing really well. And I noticed while I was talking to them that they still had a kind of a brokerage account with the local, stockbroker firm. And I said, why don't you move that account into a safer place? Because nobody knows, like Jordan said, nobody knows what the market is going to do here in 2021 and beyond. I know that the pandemic has everybody scared. The market with a vaccine, is it really going to be effective? Are the new viruses, going to be are we going to be protected against the other viruses that are coming along? So all those things are up in the air. So we really do not know what the market is going to do. So this client, was hesitant, to move the money into a safer product like an annuity, like the one we have. He wanted to keep his money in the stock market, Jordan. And, just a week ago, the market went down and he lost money. And I called him up and I said, Bill, isn't it time to actually maybe do something differently? Put your money in a place where it's going to be safe. His answer was? His answer was no. You know why? Because the market is going to go up and I want to make some money. So all I'm saying to you is that it's okay to understand the stock market. That is going to go up and down. But at the end, with this roller coaster effect, I have seen it over and over and over again. You may get 100% return one time, but then you can get a 0% return. So what really did you make? Then at the end of 10 or 20 years, you're going to see that maybe you made a profit of maybe less than 4%. I mean, I have studied this, and I can tell you that the market has returned less than 4% overall. I mean, I'm not talking about quarterly statements. I'm talking about over the years from the time that you started with the stock market, that maybe 10 or 20 years from now, with the ups and downs, you'd be lucky to get 4% return. And on top of that, the money is taxable. So did you really get 4% or less than 4%? Was it worth it to go through the ups and downs? So you see, you need to break those barriers. Don't you agree, Jordan?
Absolutely. And that's something that, just like you said, I mean, I think it's that thought process for people that they're conditioned to think, to stay to the post, to stay tied to that post and say, you know what, the market's going to come up, it'll recover. And they never break away from that mold. And the sad reality of it is sometimes is, when are they going to retire? I mean, a lot of people say yes, that market will go up, and eventually it usually does. But the reality of it is Think about somebody who is going to get ready to retire in 2007, 2008, when the mortgage collapse happens. That year that they said, you know what, hey, this is 65 for me, I'm going to retire. And then all of a sudden the market crashed and tanked and they lost over 50% of their accounts. Well, then what did they have to do? They had to continue to work and wait for the market to go back up. And when do you know it's the right time to pull it? Because now you're saying, well, I need to get back to even, but the market's still going, so people keep on riding it just for the market to tank again. And so now they're like, well, I can't get off the roller coaster because now I have to get back to where I was. And so it's always this kind of greed effect, this gratification of you don't know when you should pull your account or when you should take the money and put it somewhere safe or keep on riding it and not knowing when the roller coaster is going to end. So this is that fear that people need to start taking some money, have an exit strategy. That's the key thing that we focus on at Become the Banker. Have an exit strategy in place so that when the market does go down, when anything does happen that's unpredictable, you have other accounts that are lifting you up, giving you that security so that you can retire and you're not forced to be to work for another 4 or 5 years just to get back to even. So we're going to take another little break here. This is Jordan Quijano and Joseph Quijano with Become the Banker on Inspired Choices Network, and we'll be right back with you after this short break.
If what you thought to be true about money turned out not to be true, when would you like to know about it? Most of us have been taught wrong about money either by our family or friends. Our school system does not have any curriculum to teach us how money really works and how to make our money grow without risk in any economy. By tuning into Become the Banker radio show with certified financial planner Joseph Quijano, you'll learn the truth about money and strategies to help you grow your money without risk. Are you ready to thrive financially in the economy? Listen for Become the Banker radio show every Monday at 12 p.m. Eastern, 11 a.m. Central, 10 a.m. Mountain, and 9 a.m. Pacific.
Investments hit all-time lows, except for Become the Banker. Do you know how much money was lost in those accounts? Not one penny. Become the Banker is a safe, guaranteed return of 4% plus a 1% dividend. In a nutshell, you overfund life insurance on purpose to build a tax-sheltered cash account for retirement and for loaning to yourself along the way and not losing to the stock market. BecomeTheBanker.org. You owe it to yourself to go to the next seminar. BecomeTheBanker.org. Who's laughing now?
This is the Become the Banker show with certified financial planner Joseph Quijano. To participate in today's show, join our live studio audience in our chat room at inspiredchoicesnetwork.com. You can also ask or comment by email to joseph@becomethebanker.org or text to 303-880-0887.
Well, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Joseph Quijano and Jordan Quijano with me. And, I wanted to just let you know one thing before we continue. And that is that if you're listening to the podcast right now, if you're listening to the show, or if you listen to our podcasts after the show, I want you to please feel free and give us a call. We have had people that actually responded to us when they see us do a commercial or something like that, and they want to be able to break away, and they want to be able to actually have a strategy, an exit strategy, just like Jordan said, to actually get you ahead financially. So if this information resonates with you and you really want to achieve an excellent result, financial result that is, in the year 2021, this year, we want to help you. We definitely want to help you. We hold webinars. So it doesn't matter where you live, just go ahead, send us an email or actually go to becomethebanker.org and let us know that you are interested in breaking away and making 2021 a phenomenal year. And we can take you by the hand. We can take you, because this is our passion, by the way. Over the weekend, I had somebody, Jordan, you may get a kick on this, because I had a webinar with a future client out of Texas. And one of the comments was, we don't want to, when are you going to retire? They asked me, when are you going to retire? I said, probably never. I told him this, and then his answer was, because we don't want to lose you, right? And I said, I'm not planning to retire because, this is my passion. I enjoy helping people. I enjoy seeing, the light in their eyes, when they achieve, financial freedom. So to me, getting up in the morning and going to work is not really work. It's really, to me, it's a mission. Then that's exactly what this client said. It's not a job, but you have a mission because I have a passion to help people get ahead. So to me, I believe that if you're listening to this podcast, either now during the show or after the show, you're here for a reason. I believe that nothing happens by accident. You're tuning in because you need help. You need to get ahead, and you have come to the right place. We can take you by the hand, and we can definitely help you achieve your goals in 2021. So before I turn it over to Jordan here for a little bit here, I want to share with you that goal setting is important, especially for 2021 because of the pandemic. However, though, it all begins with the limitations, like I said at the very beginning of the show, that you may have about money, about getting ahead financially, whatever your mind has been conditioned to believe. We need to break that because I don't care whether, you can put a phenomenal plan together. You can hire the best financial planner in the world. You can buy the best products in the world. But if you have those limitations holding you back, you're not going to achieve any financial freedom. You're going to be just like the elephant. So you got to become almost like a flea trainer. Yes, you heard me right. A flea trainer. You know, uh, we don't have any fleas, but I mean, I'm telling you something that you got to be a flea trainer. You know, fleas are known to jump. Am I right? So when fleas jump, and I got to tell you this, I mean, it happened to, I don't know if you remember this, Jordan, but we had a beagle that passed away, sadly enough, and, her name was Baby. And when she went to surgery, she had cancer, the doctor, when they placed her on the operating table, after the surgery, and she survived, they told us that they saw a flea. I said, really? I mean, our home's clean and all that. I mean, well, he says, no, no, that happens. So they can pick it up from outside. But they saw a flea jump from her body onto the operating table. So to make a long story short, I mean, they had to give us all kinds of ointments and all that to kill the fleas. But I mean, fleas are known to jump. They jump. So how do you train a flea not to jump? Are you a flea trainer? How do you train a flea not to jump? I'm going to tell you how. You put the fleas in a jar, like a mason jar. Put them in there, and you close the lid, and let them jump. Every time they jump, they're going to hit the lid, and they're going to go down. Every time they jump, they're going to hit the lid, they're going to go down. And they're going to go like that all the time. And eventually, you're going to be able to take the lid off, just like the elephant on the post. And they're not going to be able to jump out of the jar. That's how you train a flea not to jump. That's how you train an elephant to stay put, being held by a skinny, weak, tiny post. So, who's training you to believe the things that you believe about money, about success financially? How do you know that the people that you are taking this information from, and I'm sure that they mean well, but how do you know that they're giving you the right information? So please, if you're listening to this segment, give us a call. You can call us at 303-779-6600, or you can actually go to our website, becomethebanker.org. And let us take you by the hand and help you, break those, habits, break those limitations that you have right now by getting ahead financially. Because, we're talking about building a financial plan for you, but it's not going to work unless you take those limitations away from your mind. Don't you agree, Jordan?
Absolutely, yeah. And I think you had some decent analogies there. And that's the whole idea is to try to get away from those limitations or those bad habits that we talked about. I mean, if you look at what we're naming this particular show, if you're born poor, it's not your fault. However, if you die poor, it is your fault. So our whole thought behind that is, you know what? We are all born with the same amount of information or knowledge. We all start with the same kind of starting place when we're a baby to when we get to 18. But after those years, or even between those years, from even learning age from 10 to 18, you could pick up a lot of bad habits from financial habits I'm talking about, from looking at what's happening around you, what's happening around with your parents, your grandparents, families, friends, families. So this is what we're trying to teach is what is the limitations that are putting you in a place? Is it a mental barrier that you picked up at a young age about money that's keeping you from succeeding financially? Maybe because you didn't have a budget, or maybe because you didn't have somebody take you by the hand to show you the right financial strategies or products. I mean, we talked numerous times about this mental barriers that are put in place at such a young age, but we always talk about ones that carry through without you throughout your life. And a lot of them come with 401ks and IRAs or any of that money. Unfortunately, over the years, from 20, 30, 40 years, you look at what's happened with retirement plans. There used to be good old day pensions, and there's not as many around like there used to be. You used to work for a company for 10, 20, 30 years, and they would give you a lifetime income for the rest of your life. Well, a lot of those have got switched out to the defined contribution plans, which in other words mean you contribute whether your 401k advisor, your company, gives you a match or not, you're the one that has to contribute for your retirement future. So the government really switched that kind of goal of you working for a company and not having to put money aside to where you have to put money aside because nobody else is going to mandate that you have to. So this is what we're trying to share with you, that a lot of people might not know what to do when it comes to financial planning. They might not have had that structure in their life of where to invest in with a 401k, how to allocate your money correctly. And if they did, maybe they did go to an advisor and they possibly got burned by that advisor and had a bad experience that has set them in a direction of never seeking help or asking for help. So we want to invite you to know that we're here to help you. Like my father said, take you by the hand and understand the simplicities of financial wealth, to understand that there are basic financial strategies that people should all have, and there's more complex ones that give you certainty that you'll have money for the rest of your life if you follow the steps. And that's all it takes. I mean, there's no magic behind becoming successful financially or to have a successful retirement. There really is no magic behind it. It has to take some discipline, and it has to take the first step. So taking that first step and recognizing that maybe you're not sitting at the right financial spot, or maybe taking that first step of recognizing maybe you don't have the financial knowledge you need to get to that next financial spot. That's the big step right there. And once you take that, the journey starts to building wealth. And that's what we want you to do is take that first step to building wealth and let the journey begin so that you don't have to lose any more money. You don't have to have your limitations put in place like the flea or the elephants, and just be able to grow your money without the worry and concern of what the stock market needs to do or get back to even to get you to a successful spot. I mean, that's really the basics. We like to bring everything down to its bare bone basics because in today's world, it's very confusing. You can get lost on the internet. You can get lost on TV, on radio, because there's so much out there. It's very easy for a consumer to be starting to spin in their head to say, where do I even go? And a lot of times, if that starts to happen to you, what do we do? People just turn off. They just turn off right there and they don't even do anything about it because they don't know what direction is up. They don't know what direction is the right direction because they're getting pulled from every direction. So let us help you get your foot in the right direction, taking that first step, and really making 2021 the best year yet. And I want you to look at, just like I said, the title of the show. I mean, if you were born poor, that is not your fault. But if you pass away poor, you can't blame anybody else but yourself because maybe you didn't go to that next step of trying to figure out where to get the financial knowledge, where to go to get the right financial information to get you into a wealthy position. And again, it takes that discipline and the first step to recognize that. So we're going to take another break here. This is Jordan and Joseph Quijano with Become the Banker. We're on Inspired Choices Network. And again, please visit us at our website at becomethebanker.org and sign up for our next webinar. But we'll be back with you here shortly after this break.
If what you thought to be true about money turned out not to be true, when would you like to know about it? Most of us have been taught wrong about money either by our family or friends. Our school system does not have any curriculum to teach us how money really works and how to make our money grow without risk in any economy. By tuning into Become the Banker radio show with certified financial planner Joseph Quijano, you'll learn the truth about money and strategies to help you grow your money without risk. Are you ready to thrive financially in the economy? Listen for Become the Banker radio show every Monday at 12 p.m. Eastern, 11 a.m. Central, 10 a.m. Mountain, and 9 a.m. Pacific.
Hello, I'm consumer advocate Tom Martino. For years, I've been telling you about a safe, secure investment that you can do for as little as $200 a month. Earnings grow tax-free. And better than that, during this recent stock market crash, they did not lose a penny. Even though investments hit all-time lows, those involved in Become the Banker are still earning their guaranteed return of 4% tax-free plus a 1% dividend. Isn't it time you at least investigate and possibly become the banker yourself? In a nutshell, you overfund life insurance on purpose to build tax-sheltered cash for retirement and for loaning to yourself for life's needs and pleasures, college, credit card debt, a mortgage. They can all be paid when you become the banker. Do yourself a favor. At least find out more. BecomeTheBanker.org. For the next webinar, that's BecomeTheBanker.org. And for a video review, BecomeTheBanker.info. It's time to take action and stop your losses. BecomeTheBanker.org.
This is the Become the Banker Show with certified financial planner Joseph Quijano. To participate in today's show, join our live studio audience in our chat room at inspiredchoicesnetwork.com. You can also ask or comment by email to joseph@becomethebanker.org or text to 303-880-0887.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Joseph Quijano here with Jordan Quijano. And this is the last segment of today's show. So what I do want to do at this point, I want to share with you the possibility of maybe you joining us on YouTube. Now, our YouTube channel is a phenomenal resource to help you understand how to break the limitations that we're talking about. We have videos upon videos upon videos of very timely topics. Just go to YouTube and search Become the Banker. Become the Banker. And you will see that you will have like a library of all sorts of wonderful informational videos that can help you not only break the limitations that you may have about money and getting ahead financially, but also how to plan to have a powerful and wonderful 2021. So please join our family. Go to the channel, subscribe to the channel, like the channel, and actually, hit the notification bell because we put up a video every single Monday. Every single Monday, we put a new video on YouTube with very timely topics that will actually help you achieve total financial success. Now, my son and I have been talking to you about some very simple ways to break those limitations today. We talked to you about, how the trainers at a circus train an elephant, to stay still without any other thing but just a post, a very tiny post that the elephant, if they wanted to, they can actually just rip it off with their trunk. No problem at all because they're 3,000-pound animals and they can actually move trees out of the earth. So for them to be conditioned not to break away from that tiny little post means a lot in financial planning because we have been conditioned, just like the elephant, to believe certain things about money, to believe certain things about getting ahead financially. So we are the trainers that we can help you break away from those beliefs and help you achieve your total financial potential. So remember the bumblebee. Scientifically, it's not designed to fly. The body is too heavy for the wings. Yet, the bumblebee flies because it doesn't know any better. So maybe people that don't achieve financial success, they're overburdened with all this information that they're looking at, Googling it, and they're going to different people for advice. Don't you agree, Jordan?
Absolutely.
So,
close out the show, yeah.
Yeah. So to me, I think it's important to actually maybe put aside, your beliefs about money, and let us help you understand how you can really break away and achieve, like I said, total financial freedom. And not only with strategies, but products. Like I think Jordan mentioned, excellent products that we can help you put together a solid financial planning foundation. Because without a foundation, you're not going to have a good financial plan. I mean, we're not saying that the stock market is totally bad. We're not saying that a 401k or an IRA is bad. You should have balance. But I mean, the foundation should be a very strong foundation where you're not going to lose any money. You're going to get a guaranteed rate of return, and it's going to be tax free. Now, that is the foundation that you should be thinking about. And next week, Jordan, we're going to get into the real mechanics of building a true financial plan for 2021. Now that we cover the limitations on this segment right here, next week, we're going to be covering step by step how to set goals for 2021 financially. Short term, intermediate, and long-term goals. Without the limitations, and you have a written down plan, I can assure you that you will make 2021 your best financial year ever. You want to add anything, Jordan?
I think that you said it perfect. So
Good.
we're looking forward to that next week. So
yeah, it's going to be phenomenal. I think it's going to help everybody. And like I said, go to becomethebanker.org or give us a call, 303-779-6600. And you got to please believe that our mission, what we're doing right now, is really our passion. We want to help you and we want you to become part of our family. Thank you so much for listening. We'll talk to you next week. This is Joseph Quijano with Jordan Quijano with me.
Thank you for choosing to listen to Become the Banker radio show. Certified financial planner Joseph Quijano will return next Monday at 12 p.m. Eastern, 11 a.m. Central, 10 a.m. Mountain, and 9 a.m. Pacific. Until then, remember, Rich people think like rich people. Poor people think like poor people.